Where you at, buddy?
Detected. Rogue defender drone detected. An agent needs assistance.
Where you going, buddy?
Vital signs critical.
Point Alpha is now held by your team.
An agent needs assistance. An agent needs assistance.
Point Alpha is being held by your squad. You're in complete control. Keep it up.
Boost about to activate. System curtailed. Boost active. System. Rogue defender drone detected. Boost is taken by allies. The boost has been taken by
Oh
allies.
my god, bro. Freaking serious.
You're halfway. The enemy can't keep up. They're about to get pulled out.
Breaking cover fire!
Rogue hive detected. Rogue bombardier drone detected. Rogue explosive seeker mine detected. Serious drone detected.
What's your boy?
Now detecting contaminated.
Hey, what's up YouTube fam? I hope you've been enjoying all of my content as of late. You're killing it with the support, man, especially in the Discord. It's growing insanely fast and people are absolutely loving it. But I have a build for you today that exemplifies the name so much. Rebel. A person who resists or defies rules or norms, rises up against the powers that be. In my mind, the powers that be are whatever is considered meta. I'm sorry, but this mentality is just in my blood and has always been. But with title update 12 coming, it seems as though the meta is starting to shift and diversify. More build options will be coming based on what I've seen from the PTS. But hey, let me show you what I got today. Alright y'all, what's going on? After making Insurmountable, that crazy build with the protection from elites and the deflector shield, I thought to myself, that shield started a whole new wave of build types based around that shield. I mean, you can utilize it in so many different ways. The other build that I made, the deflector, it wasn't really as effective as I wanted it to be in PvP. It was more effective in PvE, heroic, but it was subpar. And it's because I just discovered it and I was excited. I wanted to get the build out and show you. But then once I unlocked the potential of how to use this, I wanted to make a PvP version that was top tier, like the legendary version I made with Insurmountable. And this is it. It's called Rebel, because this is completely going against the system right here. I don't ever see anybody using the deflector shield in PvP. Now this isn't just a deflector shield build, it's an AR build also. So I'm using Survivalist for my specialization, and that's for a few reasons. You can only get that name D50 with perfect sadist on it with this specialization, and also you get extra damage to targets that have status effects. Alright, so for the primary, I'm using the Chameleon. I very rarely see this used in PvP. I tried the Eagle Bear, I tried some other weapons, and the Chameleon just felt right to me. When you get these stacks up, you get 90% extra weapon damage. That's a whole lot of weapon damage, especially when you're playing PvE. And 30 shots to the head gives you 20% crit chance, 50% crit damage. All these buffs are great. You're not really going to be using the headshot one in PvP, but mainly the body shot one. So yeah, sure, you can use all these other talents because it's a lot easier to aim for the head and the legs when you're fighting NPCs, especially the heavies. But the Chameleon drops like candy, man. So I get like 2 or 3 of these every time I'm farming for ARs. I don't know why they drop so high. I don't really use this secondary G36C because I'm either using the Chameleon or the D50. I just threw this in here as a placeholder, but the G36C is still a really good weapon. All right, this survivalist D50. I'm a big fan of it. I use the D50 in Insurmountable. Main reason is for the damage. Desert Eagles hit so hard. As I said before, it's the same variant as the Liberty Exotic pistol, so it hits almost as hard as it does. Only a few points less. Perfect Sadist gives you 25% weapon damage to bleeding targets. The normal one is 20% and 4 kills instead of 3. So after 3 kills, it applies bleed automatically no matter what. So for the build, okay, this is a assault rifle pistol hybrid. All right, and this is something that I found out from one of the people commented on my videos in Insurmountable. They said, yo, did you know that Ridgeways works with the deflector shield? I'm like, what? No way. So this build literally shreds players in PvP. Like, it is extremely effective. You wouldn't believe it. So this mask, of course, you want the DNH punch drunk, or some people say you can use the regular DNH so you can capitalize on more crit. Now, it was a little bit difficult for me to get my crit up on this. So once again, I went with the improvised pieces. And this is a little bit tanky, so it's at 1.5 million armor. And instead of protection from elites, I decided to go with critical hit damage in the improvised slots. That way I'm able to get my crit damage as high as possible with this build. So the chest piece, like I said, it works with the deflector shield. So when enemies shoot your shield, those bullets that are returned to them apply bleed within 15 meters. And you still get your armor healed based on how many enemies are bleeding. So let's say you take some damage, you're fighting, you pull out the deflector shield, you melt the enemy's armor, making them bleed. At the same time, you're behind that shield, getting your armor back with the repair based on the enemies that are bleeding. It's crazy how much you can do with Ridgeways, man. Just the ability to make somebody bleed from shooting them. And you know, like I said, this is not just a pistol shield build, because you can start off using the chameleon. In the same way that people pull out the Crusader shield to protect themselves when they take damage, is the same tactic you're going to use with the deflector shield. But instead, you're just going to be dishing their damage back at them right away. Now, you're probably wondering why I have the improvised holsters instead of other pieces that can increase my crit, right? Well, you can roll crit chance, crit damage on all the pieces. Same thing, like if I had a Fenris holster, I could roll crit damage, crit chance. But with the Fenris holster, I would increase my AR damage, but I wouldn't be able to have a mod slot either. And so I figured this was the best way to go, especially with a pistol, because it's hard to gain your crit on a pistol in general. But with these pieces, you want to have armor rolled to them. And for the backpack, it's the same thing with the chest piece. And this is also another reason why I did the improvised pieces, because the Eclipse Protocol only has one attribute. I'm only able to roll critical hit damage on here, or crit chance. I can't roll both. The only reason you see this is because it's a mod. So the improvised pieces helps me retain some of that crit that I don't have. So the same thing applies to the Eclipse Protocol backpack that applied to the Ridgeways chest piece. Symptom Aggravator. This amplifies all damage you deal to status affected targets by 30%. So as soon as they hit your shield, they're going to bleed from their own bullets, and they're going to be inflicted with the bleed status effect. At that moment, Symptom Aggravator is applied. So this combination was a match made in heaven right here, man. For PvP at least. And the crazy thing about it is you're at 1.5 million armor. I always told myself that 1.3 million armor was the standard for PvP, but if you're dishing out this much damage with 1.5 million armor, you're winning, I tell you. Oh man, I just realized how low that armor is, yo. Thank God that optimization station is coming, because this is definitely getting buffed for my skills. I've always said that the EMP sticky bomb is one of the best you can use for PvP. I see a lot of people using this in conflict in a DZ, and I actually tried to go in a DZ and find some victims to use this build on, but nobody was in there. The DZ is like a ghost town, man. I hope that something changes in the next title. Not the next title update, the next title, the next game. They need to bring back that old school dark zone feel. That would be great. But when I went into conflict, there are a lot of people using this on me, and I was getting a little frustrated because of how effective it is. So the EMP sticky bomb is the way you want to go if you want to offset people when you're fighting and get an advantage on them. This also applies a status effect, and it caters to my build, because anytime they're disrupted, anytime they're bleeding, whatever, they're going to take that 30% extra amplified damage. And I was in a PTS testing some things out. I saw the Symptom Aggravator backpack, and it's still the same. They didn't change it. Some people were saying that it was going to get nerfed, but I don't think so. Of course, you know what the second skill is. This is different from the EMP sticky bomb because I'm at 1.5 million armor. I have 5 armor cores, so it's a 5-tier shield, which makes it even better because the health is at 6.5 mil. That's way more than what you can get from a Crusader shield. first of all. And this doesn't discriminate, man. You don't need the skill tier to do the damage with the deflector, right? You still get that 50% deflector damage. The only way that you get more damage from this is if you have skill damage rolled, which I don't. I have crit damage everywhere. But this is a DPS build. I'm just using this as a bonus along with the damage I'm going to deal with Chameleon or whatever I'm doing. This is a all-around playstyle with your AR and your survivalist D50. So if you want to have a different way to play that's really effective, because you and I both know, man, that these builds get old real quick, and playing the same thing over and over again, it just gets boring. So this is really fun as an alternative. A couple people in my comments on my deflector build were saying everybody who was shooting at you were potatoes. They were trash. I mean, if you go against somebody with this build that knows what they're doing, you'll get destroyed. And it reminded me of the comments that people made about my Liberty Technician build back in the day. And they were like, yo, if somebody comes with a jammer pulse, they're just going to take your shield down. Then what? So I was like, okay, I'm going to drop Impregnable, right? Impregnable. Nobody said anything about that. Well, I feel like it's the same with this. This build now was made for PvP, okay? I made sure that it has all the elements that it needs to be the most effective in that playstyle. So let me know if you do something different with this. What pieces would you use? Personally, I felt that this was one of the best ways to go. I mean, I have D&H for the pistol damage. I don't have any pieces for the AR damage, but that's cool because you're doing a lot of damage with the backpack and the chest piece. So if you have another way that you will run this, let me know down in the comments. I love when you guys post your versions of the builds in my comments. And one more thing, if you haven't joined my Discord, it's almost at 1,000 members, man, and it is lit up in there, man. People are raiding, people are playing together, getting together for legendaries, heroics, people are making friends, and it doesn't matter what platform you play on, you're welcome, man. And it's just a great place to be. So that's all I got for you in this video. If you enjoyed it, please drop a like and don't hesitate to subscribe to my channel if you're new. Until I see you in my next video, be right out.